Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for joining in. Um, if you are joining for the very first time, if you're watching my live stream for the very first time, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and please make sure to like the live stream as well. And if you're not following me over Twitter, I regularly share my updates and my analysis over my Twitter account, and the handle is Sherlock Whale. You can simply just follow me over Twitter. And if you would like to have a little bit more organized feed, then you can simply just join the Discord server. The link for the Discord server and the link for the Twitter, it's going to be right below at the description of this YouTube live stream. Once again, please make sure to like the live stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, before we move on towards the analysis part, uh, I would just like to give a basic introduction of my mentorship, right? So, I have recently launched this mentorship program, the new batch. It has already started. There are already 100 plus students registered in this mentorship program. We have divided this mentorship program into basically three different modules. We have the beginner module, then we have an intermediate module, and then we have an advanced module. Uh, this is the course outline for the complete mentorship program. It's starting only at $250 for the lifetime, right? So you would have access to my premium Discord server. You would have access to the mentorship server. You would have access to all the resources. You would be providing the login credentials, for the website. All the resources, they would be visible to you. All the resources, all the videos, all the one-to-one sessions, they would be uploaded right here in the resources tab on the website. You would have access to all the resources. You would have access to all one-on-one sessions. This is a once again complete course outline. As you can see that, all it has been prepared extensively, right? We have tried our best to include every possible thing that I would be teaching you guys in one-on-one sessions personally, in this mentorship program. Once again, it's starting only at $250 for the lifetime, in which all the resources, everything, all the perks, they're simply just included in it, right? You would have access to the premium Discord server. You would have access to the mentorship server. You would have access to one-on-one sessions, recordings for the previous batches, recordings for the upcoming, any new batches, and each and everything, right? So if you would like to join the mentorship program, you can simply just DM me over Twitter, or you could simply just join the Discord server. Click the link in the description, join the Discord server, and open a support ticket, and support staff, they would simply just be assisting you in joining the mentorship program, right? It's a great opportunity. I have been recently getting a lot many requests from people. uh Condi is asking, did you say one-on-one? Yes, each session, it's going to be a one-on-one session, meaning that, we already had an introductory session on Monday, just yesterday. It was a one-on-one session. These sessions, they're going to be completely interactive, meaning that you can interact in the sessions with me. You can ask any questions. You can simply just have any doubts cleared. All of these things, they would be taught in the mentorship program. So yeah, once again, and by the way, all the sessions, they're going to be recorded, meaning that you can simply just watch these recordings, with proper chapters included in it. You would have access to the rest of the resources. For example, I have a few indicators developed like MTF, EMA, and few other indicators. You would have access to all those scripts. You would have access to any premium books that you would request, or any other resources that we would be adding. And all of this is once again for lifetime, meaning you wouldn't have to pay anything. It's just going to be a one-time cost. Just go to the description of this YouTube video, join the Discord server, open a support ticket, and once again, the staff would be assisting you. Yeah, I would be teaching live one-on-one. Anyways, so A is saying, definitely looking at joining the program. I have been in the Crypto Hubbers Discord for a little while and really enjoy your analysis. Thank you so much, A. Once again, this mentorship program, it's a great opportunity for you guys. I know that, there are quite a few mentorship programs available in the market, but they would cost you no less than like around, thousands of dollars. We have, as you can see, extensively prepared this whole course outline. Almost every single topic, almost every single confluence has been included in the course outline. And the best part about the program is that it's going to be one-on-one sessions, meaning that you can completely interact with me, you can ask questions, and you can also interact with the students. You can have the opinion of students as well. So yeah, you can click the link in the description and join the mentorship program. Anyways, so let's start with the analysis part, because I know that lot many people are actually waiting for this part, right? So let's start with doing the analysis on BTC. And by the way, this is going to be a weekly crypto market analysis. We would be looking at the charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Dogecoin, right? Or any other chart that you may request, I would be looking at it. So you know if we look at the chart for BTC, I have said this in my last live stream also, that the structure change or the structure shift, it has already happened. By the way, structure is the first thing that we usually always look at. If you would focus on the structure part, you can see that structure got bearish or turned bearish back when price broke below $63,200 region. It started making these lower lows and lower highs. But the good part is that, although we were not able to reclaim this level, which in my opinion is a very strong level, I was expecting the reaction at this area when price back on 3rd of August was trading somewhere around 60,000, 61,000. Unfortunately, at that time, due to some news events, price did not stay above in that region. But once again, I was expecting a decent reaction around in this area. Uh, Although, we have not been able to reclaim this region, this 60,000, 61,000 region, which in my opinion is a very strong resistance as of now, right? Which is a very strong level as of now. I would show you the historical analysis as well of this level. But the point is that in terms of structure, you need not to worry about anything. I started this YouTube channel back on 9th of July. We have already done almost 7 to 8 live streams, and I have almost mentioned in every single live stream that uh, structure, it's not that bookish usually, right? Structure, it's usually extremely complex, be it the chart for Bitcoin, be it the chart for any stock index, or be it any other financial chart. Structure, it's not that easy to understand. Structure does not really play always that good, right? But if you would look at the historical price action for BTC for the past 6 or 7 months, you would notice that structure part, it has been absolutely bookish, which means that if the structure turns bearish, it simply just remains bearish for quite some time, meaning that soon after getting the change of character or market structure shift, you would get multiple break of structures. Meaning, break of, for those of you who don't know, break of structure would mean that trend is going to continue in the direction which has been determined, and a change of character or market structure shift would mean that, okay, the whole structure, it's shifting from being bearish to being bullish, or from being bullish to being bearish, meaning that it's indicating a reversal part. So if you would look at the historical charts, you would note historical data, you would notice that structure, it has been playing absolutely bookish, in an absolutely bookish way. Meaning, if price turns bearish, it remains bearish for quite some time. If it turns bullish, it remains bullish for quite some time. For example, we have a few recent examples. The market structure shift happened somewhere around here, then back on around 9th of July, when we did our first live stream, then we started getting these multiple break of structures, and we went straight from 59,000 all the way up to around $70,000 region. Once again, the structure shift happened from being bullish to being bearish back on 1st of August, when price broke below $63,200 region, and then price started giving us these multiple break of structures, and price started being bearish. And now that we have got this change of character, and by the way, this is our major swing low, and this is a major swing high, meaning that if price breaks and closes above 62,600, then we would get a break of structure. And remember that having a change of character, it's a good thing, but it's not usually enough. It's always a good idea, it's always a good confirmation to have a break of structure after a change of character. Change of character only signifies a market structure shift, but break of structure signifies that okay, trend is now going to continue in its original direction. It's just an added confirmation, it's just an extra confirmation, which is always a good thing. So focusing on the structure part, we have already got this change of character. We are waiting for price to break and close a 4-hour candle above 62,800, and that's when we would be getting a break of structure. But if at any point, uh, just to give you an idea about this, people are actually a little bit worried about, what would happen if price goes down to like around this region, 56,000, or going back to 52,000, 54,000. Because I know this thing that there have been constant fear in the market. There has been this constant fear in the market that what would happen if Iran attacks Israel. Like, this is something that would absolutely be bearish for the market, obviously. But in my personal opinion, if you would like to know my thoughts on the bias that BTC, if BTC could go down to like 42,000, 43,000, you can simply just go and watch the last live stream that we did, I guess, back on 9th of August, right? You can watch that live stream. It was an absolutely interesting one. But the point here is that yes, the market is in constant fear that if the attack happens actually, then this could be bearish for the market. But in my personal opinion, a lot of the selling pressure, it has already been absorbed, right? So the news itself, it's not going to be that bearish. The news, it might just be bearish, but the impact, it's not going to be that bad, right? So if you are fearful about that, yes, it is definitely a bearish thing. But even if we go down to $54,000 region, $52,000 region, these are going to be very good buying opportunities in my personal opinion. Why exactly am I saying this is because the external structural point, like if I mark the external structural points for you guys, this is your major swing low. All right, this is your major swing low, and this is your major swing high, meaning that if price breaks and closes above 62,800, then this would be a break of structure, further confirming that. And by the way, whenever we are looking at the structure part, we are just completely ignoring these horizontal levels. We would move on towards the horizontal levels part next, but we are only focusing on the structure part. So if price breaks and closes above 62,800, then this would be a further confirmation that okay, this bullish trend, it's going to continue in its original direction, which is bullish as of now. But in order for structure to turn back bearish, and I have, by the way, not seen a single instance during the past 6 to 7 months in which immediately after the change of character, a break of structure happens in the opposite direction. I'm not really saying that this is a very uncommon thing. If you would open up the charts for altcoins, even on the BTC chart, you would find multiple examples, not from this year, but from the previous years, in which a reversal happens, a change of character happens, but back again, market continues in the opposite direction, meaning that a break of structure in the opposite direction happens. This is not really a very uncommon thing, but at the same time, it's not a very common occurrence. We usually expect, if structure plays in an absolutely bookish way, then soon after the change of character, you should get a break of structure in the original direction, which is this one as of now, which is bullish as of now. But in order for structure to be bearish, right, we need to mark out these external structural points. So your external structure low, it's at around 49,700, and your external structure high, it's at around 62,800. Meaning that for structure to turn bearish, meaning that for this trend to once again turn bearish, price needs to break and close a 4-hour candle close below 49,700, $49,600 region. Now, this is extremely unlikely in my personal opinion. Why? Because, if you would look at the historical data for the past 6 to 7 months, you would notice that this has never happened even once. Like, this is not, once again, this is not a very uncommon occurrence. This could happen, this usually happens on the charts for other altcoins, even on the BTC chart as well. But I have not seen this happening during the past 6 to 7 months, right? Which means that we can expect, although price still is trading under this resistance areas, under this resistance area, and next we have to talk about these horizontal levels as well. But the point as of now is that structure, it's very much bullish. and as soon as we would break and close above 62,800, we would have an added further confirmation that it's going to continue in its original direction. If you are a little bit scared about buying, if you are a little bit suspicious about what might be happening with the price action next, you next need to focus on these horizontal levels, because I always say this thing that a resistance is a resistance as long as price is trading under it, and a support is a support as long as price is trading above it. Obviously, looking at a few things like bounces or retracements or rejections, we can say that okay, this resistance area is about to break, or this support region it's about to break. But the fact as of now is that price is trading under this very strong resistance area. This would be much more evident, this would be much more clear. Even if you would look on the daily time frame chart or the 4-hour time frame chart, you can clearly see that this has been a very strong level. Price breaks above this level, gives the first bounce, second bounce. These were very good retests. Then there was this another bounce happening. Price breaks below, gives the first retest, rejects from it, then came back up, gave the first retest. It was a successful one. Once again, another retest, and once again price broke below, gave the first retest, second retest, got rejected from this region. All these things did not happen around here, but broke above, gave the first retest. It was a small retest, broke down below the first retest. It was a successful one. So the point once again here is that it is a strong level, and I'm happy to see that a strong reaction is happening as of now. Nothing that's happening at this resistance area or at around 60,000, 61,000, nothing that's happening around here is an unexpected thing. It is a resistance area. That's the main function, that's the primary function of a resistance area, to give price a strong rejection, and this is what exactly is happening as of now. But the point is that since we are in an uptrend, if you guys have been watching some of my previous live streams, you would know that all you have to do is, whenever you are trading the trending markets, just take out your Fibonacci retracement tool, draw Fibonacci retracement level from the start of the impulsive wave to the end of the impulsive wave. So in this situation, this is your start of impulsive wave, this is your end of impulsive wave, or it's completely up to you. You can consider this swing point as well. If you would move on to the daily time frame chart, then you would be considering this swing point. Or if you would move to this chart, if you would move to the 4-hour time frame chart, then you would be considering this swing point. It's completely up to you. If you would consider this swing point, you would notice that price has given so far a perfect bounce from 38.2% fib level. And by the way, we have this swing long position still open. We have another spot position open from $55,000 region. We have a swing long position open from this region. I would be giving you a bias. So why exactly I opened this perfect long position at 57,900. You can actually see that it was a perfect bounce happening from this area, but I have not taken any TP, although price went up 3%, 4%. I have not moved stops break even. The reason for this is because we are still trading under this resistance area. There is no point for me to move stops break even. I would wait for price to reclaim this resistance area, turn it into a support, flip it into a support region, and that's where I would be taking my first TP and moving stops to break even, right? So I have said this from time to time that whenever the trends are strong, you would usually see price retracing down only to 38.2% fib levels. I hope you guys can hear the sound of the rain in the background. It has been raining heavily around here. Anyways, so whenever the trend is strong, you would usually see price retracing down only to 38.2% fib level, right? But whenever the trends, they are not too strong, the retracement, it could be slightly deeper, which means that you could see price retracing down to maybe 61.8% fib level, 65% fib level, or 70.5% fib level. The whole point here is that whenever the trends, they are not that strong, the retracements, they might be slightly deeper. But when this trend it's too strong, the retracements, they are not going to be that deep. They're simply just going to be very shallow retracements, meaning that this was a very strong move towards the upside, and it's very natural for price to give this cool off period. I remember when we did the last live stream back on it was back on Saturday or maybe Sunday, so it was back on Saturday. At that time, price had given this huge impulsive move towards the upside. I did mention during this live stream as well that it is going to be very likely thing that price would consolidate a little bit around here. The reason for this was because, it's very natural for price to consolidate a little bit after these sort of huge impulsive moves. Why? Because a lot many people who had their open long position somewhere maybe around 54,000, 55,000, 49,000, all these people, they would be taking profits because we have seen this thing that this is a very strong resistance area. We have seen this in the past as well, that price has given very strong rejections around $62,500 region, which means that it was very natural for price to be a little bit stagnant around here, and this is what exactly is happening as of now. So once again, all you have to do is just take out your Fib tool, draw Fibonacci retracement from the start of the impulsive wave to the end of the impulsive wave. This is also a legitimate swing point. This also is a swing point that you can select. If you would select this swing point, I preferred selecting this swing point because I did not want to miss out on this trade, and you can clearly see that price so far has given a very perfect bounce from 61% fib level, right? Another reason for selecting this swing point was because if you would notice that we have a very strong 4-hour imbalance present around here, and whenever I'm working with imbalances and fair value gaps, I usually like to trade somewhere around the 50% level, right? 50% level, it's a very important psychological level. Even when you're working with order blocks, even when you're working with fair value gaps, even when you're working with Fibonacci retracement levels, whenever you are slightly unsure as to what level could be giving a reaction. For example, you have an order block present around here and it's looking something like this, and you are not really sure if you should be taking a long position at the top of this order block or at the bottom of this order block. It's always a good idea to select the 50% level. And I can tell you this thing from my personal experience, even with demand supply zones, I'm always using 50% levels. 50% level, it's a very important psychological level, and I have seen very beautiful true reactions happening at 50% level, be it in terms of supply and demand regions, be it in terms of Fibonacci retracement level, be it in terms of order blocks and fair value gaps. But the condition is that whatever region that you are drawing, it needs to be a correct one. Meaning, if I am drawing the fair value gaps, I need to be properly aware of the definition of a fair value gap or imbalance, and I should have been able to draw it properly. So anyways, we have another huge imbalance present around this region as well, and I would only be, whenever we are talking about imbalances or fair value gaps, we would only be focusing on the 50% level. We would completely ignore the top or the bottom of imbalances or fair value gaps. So the point here is that we have a few huge 4-hour imbalance present around $56,000 region, and if you would consider this swing point, if you would consider this daily swing point from the start of the impulsive wave to the end of the impulsive wave, if you would draw Fibonacci retracement levels, you would notice that this level, it's perfectly aligned with 50% fib level, meaning that there is every possibility, if there is some bad news, there is every possibility. And by the way, 65%, 70.5% fib levels are present around 53,000 or 54,000 region, and usually it's very, very common for price to retrace down to 65%, 70.5% or 78.6% fib levels, right? If we consider the previous situation, the previous case, exactly like a month or two ago, this was the start of impulsive wave, this was the end of the impulsive wave, and you can clearly see that price gave this retracement down to at least 78.6% and even 88.6% fib level, right? Then this became your next swing low. This was your start of impulsive wave, this was your end of impulsive wave, but in this situation price retraced only down to 50% fib level, and that's where we should have got the idea that okay, this trend, it is extremely strong because price is only retracing down to 50% fib level, and that's exactly what happened next. If you would consider this swing low and this swing high, once again you would notice that price only retraced down to 38.2% fib level, and similar situation happened with the next fractal. So it's going to be completely up to you which levels you would be wanting to select. In this situation, I preferred selecting this swing low, this swing high, and then I simply just put my entry a little bit above 61.8% fib level. Whenever I'm usually working with fib level, I always prefer to place my entries around 65% or 70.5% fib level. But in this case, because the 50% of this fair value gap was present a little bit higher, So I just said that, okay, let's place my entry a little bit above the 61.8% fib level. So that was the whole reason, for taking this long trade. And I have said this from time to time, that all you have to do is just wait for the break of structure, change of character. And if you are able to correctly identify the start or the end of impulsive wave, all you have to do is just take out your fib tool, draw Fibonacci retracement levels from the start of the impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, take a long or a short trade at 65% or 70.5% Fibonacci or any other preferred level of your choice, and simply just place your stops below the previous low. In this situation, the ideal place to be putting our stop loss is basically this one. It should be this one below 59,550. Remember this thing. Stop loss is basically the part where people pay the least amount of attention towards, right? All of you would have noticed this thing, that whenever you are about to enter into a trade, you would simply just try to calculate that how much profit would you be making if this trade hits the TP, right? If this trade hits the target. But you should actually be doing the very opposite thing. You should be planning out the loss part as well. You should be preparing yourself mentally for the loss part as well. And that's once again the point where people pay the least amount of attention towards, right? So and second and most important thing is that your stop loss, and because people pay the least amount of attention towards the stop loss part, their invalidation usually is just an arbitrary point. Like, I have seen some experienced traders, even some experienced traders say this thing, that okay, my stop loss, it always happens to be 2%, 3%. But your stop loss, it does not matter if it's a stop loss is 3%, 10%, 15%, 50%. It always needs to be a proper invalidation point. And if you understand the true meaning of risk management, then even if your stop loss is 3% or 50%, you should always be losing the same amount of money. I would not get into the details of that. If you guys are interested in hearing about the risk management part, like how to manage the risk for every single trade, how to lose only 1%, 2%, or 3% of your capital in every single trade, I would have another live stream for you guys. You can simply just write in the chat box if you are interested to know about this. And by the way, we have a good number of people watching the live stream, but only 14 of you have liked it. Please make sure to just like the live stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? So these are basically my thoughts about Bitcoin at this moment. We are still trading under this resistance area. We had this first rejection happening from this resistance area, but still we are trading extremely close to this resistance area, to this level, 60,000, 61,000 price. The structure is absolutely bullish in my opinion, but we have the quarterly VWAP present around here on the 4-hour time frame chart, which is once again another resistance area. But something is telling me that we are very soon about to reclaim this area. Given that there is no fundamental bad news, we are very soon going to reclaim this region. Why? Because price has been continuously trading around this region. If this resistance area, or if the selling pressure from this area was strong enough, we should have already got that huge retracement down to at least 52k, 53k. But given the fact that price is stagnant around in this area, price is staying close to this area. Remember what I'm always saying about the retracement part. Remember what I'm always saying about the bounces and the rejections part, meaning that if price is hitting into a level over and over again, and the retracements, they're becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, then that level eventually it's going to break. And we shall see very soon. We will be seeing very soon. But in my personal opinion, price very soon is about to break above this resistance level, right? Because once again, it's staying extremely close to this region. So these are my thoughts looking at the chart for Bitcoin. And let's take a look at the chart for USDT dominance also. I have mentioned USDT dominance in almost every single live stream of mine. But for those of you who don't know, USDT dominance, it simply just represents the market capitalization of USDT stablecoin, and it's a chart that is negatively correlated with the Bitcoin chart, meaning that it's negatively correlated or inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart, meaning that if the price of Bitcoin would go up, the market capitalization of USDT stablecoin, it would simply just start going down. Or if the USDT stablecoin dominance, it would start going up, then in that case, then in that case, the price for BTC, it would start going down, meaning that they are inversely correlated with each other, meaning that they are inversely or negatively correlated with each other. So, if you are confused at some point looking at the BTC chart, you don't really know what exactly is happening on the Bitcoin chart, you have a few other options. Like, you have an option to look at the USDT dominance chart, which is inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart. You have an option to look at the BTC USDT.3S chart. For those of you who don't know, 3S basically means an inverse leverage token of BTC, which is 3 times leveraged against the Bitcoin chart. Or you have an option to look at BTC USDT.3L chart. We would be looking at both of these charts, but first of all, let's focus on the USDT dominance chart, which is inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart. Now, I said this during the previous live stream when price was trading somewhere around 5.42% level. I mentioned this thing exclusively, that I do not expect USDT dominance to break easily below this support region. Okay, and breaking below this support region would basically mean that price on the Bitcoin chart, it would break above $62,000 region. Now, the reason for saying all of this was because we have MTF EMA. MTF EMA is a very strong indicator, by the way. Let me turn off the rest of the indicators. MTF EMA is a very strong indicator, and you can clearly see that MTF 200 EMA, it's present around this support region, and we have a very strong horizontal support. I have completely done an analysis on this chart during my previous live stream. You can go and watch that live stream, but just to give you guys an idea, you can clearly see that historically speaking as well, this level, it has been an extremely strong level. Price has been reacting at this daily level. We have seen bounces and rejections happening off this level every single time price has given a reaction at this level, and the first retest 99.9% of times of this level, they have been successful one, meaning that it was very much evident. And similar is the case with the 200 period exponential moving average, MTF EMA as well, this indicator as well, that price has almost every single time reacted at this level, and the first retest of this dynamic level, they have always been the successful retest, which means that Ultimate Soccer Skills is asking, how can you get the 200 MTF EMA? Okay, so you can by the way, this indicator, it's free for my mentorship students. You can, but I would give you guys free access to it anyway. You can simply just join my Discord server, and I would share the script with you. Okay, all you would have to do is just simply copy paste the script in your TradingView terminal by going around here in this area, Pine Editor. You can simply just copy paste that script, add to your chart, and it will be working the very same way, right? It's a very simple script, very powerful indicator in my opinion. What it simply does is that it calculates, or it plots the 200 period exponential moving average on every single higher time frame: 4 hour, 12 hour, 24 hour daily time frame chart, 3-day time frame chart, and then the weekly time frame chart. And then simply it takes out the average of all these plots and displays them as one single line, right? So instead of plot having multiple 200 period exponential moving averages, it is the average of all 200 period exponential moving averages. It's a very powerful indicator historically speaking as well. You can clearly see that price almost every single time reacts to 200 MTF EMA, and not just 200 MTF EMA. If you would go to the settings of this indicator, you would have an option to turn on 100 MTF EMA as well, 50 MTF EMA as well, 100 MTF EMA as well on the BTC chart. Has been working absolutely good, right? So it was very much evident during my last live stream as well. I mentioned this thing, that it is not going to be an easier thing for price on the Bitcoin chart to break above $62,000 region. The reason for this was because USDT dominance, it was holding above this very strong horizontal support, very strong horizontal daily support region, plus this MTF EM. Remember this thing, that we have so far not even given a complete retest at this MTF EMA. Price has been a little bit shy of this level, but by the time price returns back to this level, you would definitely see a bounce happening, meaning that all you have to do is just apply MTF EMA on USDT dominance chart and set an alert on this MTF EMA. And by the way, I have developed this indicator in a way that you can simply just set an alerts on this indicator as well, meaning that you can clearly see that. Condition, I would set, just for setting the alerts, I would say that MTF, sorry, USDT dominance chart, it is not going to break above $62,000 region. The reason for this was because USDT dominance, it was holding above this very strong horizontal support, very strong horizontal daily support region, plus this MTF EM. Remember this thing, that we have so far not even given a complete retest at this MTF EMA. Price has been a little bit shy of this level, but by the time price returns back to this level, you would definitely see a bounce happening, meaning that all you have to do is just apply MTF EMA on USDT dominance chart and set an alert on this MTF EMA. And by the way, I have developed this indicator in a way that you can simply just set an alerts on this indicator as well, meaning that you can clearly see that. Condition, I would set, just for setting the alerts, I would say that MTF, sorry, USDT dominance crossing MTF EMA 200 once per bar, and I would create an alert. So every time price on the USDT dominance chart touches this MTF 200 EMA, I would get an alert, and I can simply just take a short position on the BTC chart, because in that situation it's very much likely that price on the USDT dominance chart, it would be bouncing from MTF EMA, and at the same time price on the Bitcoin chart, it would be having a strong rejection from wherever from whatever level it is at that moment, right? So USDT dominance chart as of now, I would not go into the details of that once again, because I have already done that in the previous live stream. But you need to focus on the fact that we are still trading above this strong horizontal support and this very strong dynamic level, and price needs to break below this level in order for price on the Bitcoin chart to go above $62,000 region, which is a strong resistance as of now, because we have quarterly VWAP on the 4-hour time frame chart present around 62,000, and then we have a strong horizontal resistance at that area, right? So Bitcoin, once again, it is stagnant around here. It needs to first reclaim this area. And by the way, if you would focus on the daily time frame chart for Bitcoin as well, you can clearly see that MTF EMA, it has been working the very same way. The last bounce back on 5th of July was perfect reaction at MTF EMA, and by the way, this was the first retest of MTF EMA ever since price broke above MTF EMA back on 15th of October 2023, when it was trading around $28,000, and which was basically the start of the bull run, right? So price broke above MTF EMA back on 15th of October, broke above $28,000 region, and this was the first retest, so it was expected to be a very strong one. And this was the second retest. You can clearly see that price did hold above the MTF EMA. We had this very strong bounce happening from MTF EMA, so you could have taken very, very beautiful long positions from 55,000 or from 54,000 back on 5th of July. It should have easily given you a decent move. So MTF EMA, not just on the Bitcoin chart, not just on the USDT dominance chart, it is an indicator that is based upon simple logic, and it should be working the very same way. Since I'm a big fan of averages, so I'm always just playing around with the concept of average. So these are my thoughts about the charts of Bitcoin and USDT dominance. And by the way, just for having an extra confluence, you can simply just look at the BTC USDT.3s chart or BTC USDT.3l chart. In this case, we are looking at BTC USDT.3s chart, which is basically a chart that is inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart, right? So if the price for Bitcoin, it would go up 1%, price for BTC USDT.3s, it would go down 3%. And if the price for Bitcoin, it would go down 1%, price for BTC USDT.3s, it would go up 3%, right? So it's basically an inverse leverage token of Bitcoin and 3 times inversely leveraged, right? So in this situation, you can clearly see that, price for BTC USDT.3s, it is at this resistance area, meaning that a strong rejection is expected around here. This was a first small rejection. This is happening to be a second rejection. And, it is expected that price would eventually go back down to this level, meaning that on the Bitcoin chart, you can expect price on the Bitcoin chart to very soon reclaim the $60,000 level, right? And nobody is going to tell you about all these charts. Nobody is going to give you this much of the detailed analysis. They would simply just open up the Bitcoin chart and they would say that, okay, this is the trend line, this is the chart pattern, these are the levels that you need to be careful about. But I'm giving you a step-by-step guide on how you can do the analysis. All you have to do is, even if you are just able to draw support and resistance levels properly, you have 4 charts to look at. You are clueless looking at the Bitcoin chart, look at the USDT dominance chart. You are clueless looking at the USDT dominance chart, you can look at BTC USDT.3s chart, you can look at BTC USDT.3l chart. So now you have 4 charts to look at. If you are able to figure out any single one of these charts, every reaction that would be happening on the chart that you have figured out, it would automatically be reflected back on all 3 of the charts, right? It's as simple as that. I hope you guys are enjoying the live streams, and please, once again, make sure to like the live stream and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This really motivates me to just come up with more educational content. The last live stream already has like around 500-600 views. Almost 60-70 people have already liked that live stream, so it was a great milestone from me. We just launched this YouTube channel almost a month ago, and we have already gone past around 570, 580 subscribers. It's a great achievement for all of us. And once again, if you guys would keep on showing this love, I would be more than happy to bring some more educational content for you guys. Anyways, so in the case of BTC USDT.3s chart, you can clearly see this thing that we are trading at this resistance area. This is first retest. The first retest, it was a small successful one. The second retest, it is expected to be a successful one, meaning that we can expect the price for the Bitcoin chart to reclaim $60,000 region very soon. Even if this breaks above, even if BTC USDT.3s breaks above, meaning if BTC goes down, you can clearly see that we have another strong resistance area at 0.1577, meaning that on the Bitcoin chart, we would have another strong support. So let's suppose that it's a resistance at around 16% level. So you can simply just divide 16 by 3. So it's going to be a 5% dump from here, almost a 5% dump from here, meaning that you can expect the price to go down to this 4-hour imbalance. This is what exactly I have been saying, right? If there is every possibility that price could go down to fill this 4-hour imbalance, which has not been filled so far, right? Even if you would consider on the Bitcoin chart, if you would consider this major swing low, you would notice that this is only going to be a reaction at 78.6% fib level. There is every possibility, once again, for those of you who are watching, there is every possibility that price could go down to fill this 4-hour imbalance. Price could go down to 56,000 level, and that also is evident looking at BTC USDT.3s chart, because the next resistance area, it is somewhere around in this region, right? And for Bitcoin to break above to break decisively above all the resistance areas, we need to first of all reclaim this level as a good resistance area. We first of all need to break below this level and reclaim this level as a strong resistance area. You can clearly see this thing that historically speaking, there was only one instance when price went down to almost around $70,000 region, when price briefly broke below this level but quickly reclaimed this level. So in order for price to break above the previous all-time high, all we need to do is on the BTC USDT.3s chart, we need to break below this very strong horizontal support. And historically speaking, once again, you can clearly see that all of the levels that I have drawn, they are very much correct ones. Price has been extremely reactive to almost every single one of these levels. Bounce, 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 rejection, 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 once again bounce, rejection, bounce, rejection. So all of these levels, they have been extremely reactive ones, meaning that you can expect the price on the Bitcoin chart to reclaim very soon the $60,000 level and go back up to around 62,000, right? Finally, let's take a look at BTC USDT.3L chart as well. 3L basically means a leverage token of Bitcoin, meaning if the price for Bitcoin would go up 1%, the price for BTC USDT.3L, it would also go up 3%, right? If the price for Bitcoin, it would go down 1%, BTC USDT.3L, ideally speaking, it should, theoretically speaking, it should be going down 3%, meaning that it is positively correlated with the Bitcoin chart. And in this example, you can clearly see that it's a very much similar chart. It's very much similar to the Bitcoin chart. You can clearly see this thing that on the BTC USDT.3L chart as well, we are trading under this resistance area, which means that it's very much similar to the $60,000 support. If at any point we reclaim this support, consolidate a little bit back up, come back to retest this level, that's where you can expect to take a long position. But this is not a very super clear chart, I would say. BTC USDT.3s is a much more clear one, or the USDT dominance chart, it's a much more clear one in my opinion, right? You can apply the same indicators, for example MTF EMA, you can do the same, you can use the same confluences to look at any of these charts and should be working the very same way. Finally, let's take a look at Ethereum as well. Although ETH is not something that I have been really interested in. By the way, we did have a very beautiful short position for some reason. We paper handed this one. We had this absolutely beautiful short position at 27.13. We closed this break even, although price, we can clearly see that was getting rejected of MTF EMA. I only realized after, and by the way, the reason for taking this short position was simple band theory. You see the equal highs, you would simply just take the short position. This was the reason for taking this short position, but I paper handed this one because I was a little bit sleepy at that moment. It was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for me, so I completely forgot that. I completely forgot to turn on MTF EMA and noticed that price is actually having strong rejection from MTF EMA. So I closed this break even, although it was a good idea because I was going to bed. So it's never really good idea to have open positions while you are not available on the charts. But yeah, this happened to be a good short position on the Ethereum chart. It's quite simple. We are trading under this absolute major strong resistance area at $2,800. And by the way, in the 4-hour time frame chart, this also is a strong resistance level. You can clearly see, but not that much of a strong level. But you have MTF EMA. Once again, you can clearly see that moving to the daily time frame chart, you would notice that price was bouncing off MTF EMA, but once again it broke below. This was the first retest of MTF EMA. It was supposed to be a successful one. It is happening to be a successful one. We did paper hand this position, but you can get an idea that if ETH needs to go crazy at any moment, although we had positive inflows first time after 23rd of July, we had positive inflows into Ethereum spot ETF, but that's not enough. The chart part, it also, all the conditions, all the requirements, they need to be met on the chart part as well. And I have said this from time to time that every possible information that you would need regarding a particular financial instrument, it's going to be available right in front of you on the chart. Similar is the case with ETH USDT chart as well. Even though people were bullish just yesterday, ETH BTC chart, it was bullish. ETH was strong in comparison to Bitcoin, in comparison to the rest of the altcoins. Everything was positive. The inflows were positive. Even in that case, it was still trading under this 4-hour resistance. It was still trading under this MTF 200 EMA, and was giving the first retest at this MTF EMA first time after breaking below, meaning that a true rejection around this level, it was very much evident, it was very much possible, and this is what exactly we saw happening, right? So if at any moment price needs to go up to 3,500, go up to 3,000, we have a couple of different resistance area. And by the way, on the daily time frame chart, we have quarterly VWAP and anchored quarterly VWAP present around in this area. Let me turn on that one as well. So yeah, this one, I guess it's okay. So yearly VWAP. So this rejection that happened yesterday, it was not just of MTF EMA, but it was also of the yearly VWAP. And by the way, this is also an indicator that I developed myself. You have quarterly and yearly VWAPs. So the daily time frame chart, this is a very strong level. This was a very strong level. I somehow just forgot to turn on both of these things. I should have never really closed that short position, right? Because you can clearly see that you have MTF EMA and then you have yearly VWAP, and price was giving the first retest at both of these levels first time after breaking below, meaning that a true reaction, a rejection, it was always an expected thing. So yeah, it's quite simple. Price needs to first of all break above these levels, then price needs to break above 2,800 level. And if you are a little bit cautious, if you do not want to take any extra risk, there is no point buying ETH at this moment. You can simply just wait. And by the way, the 4-hour structure as well on ETH has been bearish, although price is making these higher highs on the 4-hour time frame chart, but the structure, it has been bearish. You can clearly see that in order for structure to turn bullish, price needs to at least break and close a 4-hour candle above 2950, which has not happened so far. So yeah, you cannot take any risk at this moment. I would still not suggest taking any risk if you have not bought into ETH. If you have been sidelined for some time, just stay sidelined until and unless price breaks and closes above this level, this horizontal level, and fully reclaims these dynamic levels, right? These are levels you should always be focusing on. And by the way, you can look at ETH USDT.3s chart or ETH USDT.3l chart. In this case, I have ETH USDT.3s chart open in front of me. Price could go crazy, but at this moment it is still trading above this trend line. But the good part about trend lines is that when the trend line breaks happens, they are always very strong breaks. but it's not going to be enough since we have very strong horizontal support present around here, meaning that it's very much the same thing that Ethereum chart needs to not just break above a couple of dynamic resistance areas, but it also needs to fully reclaim the 2800 level. So similar is the case with ETH USDT.3s chart. Even if it breaks below, then price for Ethereum it would go up, but then it would immediately find support at this area, which is going to be at the $2,800 resistance for Ethereum. So yeah, it's quite simple, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Once again, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please make sure to follow me over Twitter. I regularly post my updates and analysis over my Twitter account. You can simply just click the link in the description, join my Discord server for more organized feed. And I have already announced about my mentorship program. If you were not present, by the time I announced it, you can simply just join my mentorship program. I have recently announced it. It is starting from as low as $250 from the lifetime. There are a couple of different perks associated with mentorship program. There are already 100 plus students registered in this mentorship program. Lectures, they have already started. We had our first introductory lecture yesterday. You would be provided, and by the way, all of these sessions are going to be completely one-on-one sessions, meaning interactive sessions. You can simply just interact with me. You can simply just ask questions. This is a complete course outline for the mentorship program. You can clearly see that we have tried our best to at least include as much topics as possible, from RSI, from VWAP, from EMAs to more advanced concepts like liquidity. Anything that I personally use, I have tried my best to include all of it in this course outline. It's going to be 100 plus lectures, and once again, it's starting only from $250 for the lifetime. Getting free access to my mentorship server, getting access to my premium Discord server. You would get access to all the recordings for the previous batches. You would get access to complete database, complete resources, one-on-one sessions, lectures. You can schedule a call with me. All of it is included in just one-time cost of $250, and that also is for lifetime, right? That's not a monthly cost. That is a lifetime cost, meaning that almost every single person among you can simply just afford it, and that is a very good opportunity. We have very limited spots available. Once the mentorship program just kicks in, once we are done with like around 2-3 lectures, the spots, they would automatically be closed. We would no longer be taking any other students, and this mentorship program, it would then just go on for 5-6 months, because we have 100 plus lectures to cover. So the spots, they would only be opening up after 5-6 months, probably next year. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for you guys to learn. Simply just click the link in the description of this YouTube live stream, join the Discord server, and open a support ticket. And support staff, they would be assisting you in joining the program. You would be given the login credentials for our website. All the videos for the mentorship, they are uploaded in our database. They are included with complete chapters, with complete captions, and every possible thing that you would require, from books, from resources, from PDFs, from indicators, to videos, to recordings for previous batches, to access to new batch recordings, to one-on-one sessions. All of it is going to be, and above all, access to my premium Discord server as well. We have around 70 to 18 analysts already, providing content, already providing calls in our Discord server. So yeah, please make sure to give it a try. And by the way, we have free trials also available. If you would like to directly contact me, you can simply just DM me over Twitter, and I would assist you in joining the program. Once again, thank you so much for joining in. Condi is asking, do we have to pay one of the course? Yeah, I don't know, what exactly is the question about. Do we have to pay one of the? Yeah, you would have to pay $250 for the beginner module. It's only starting at $250 for the lifetime. Right? It's for lifetime, right? You can simply just contact me over Twitter, or you can join the Discord server and open a support ticket. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining in. See you guys back on Thursday. That's when our next live stream is scheduled for. Please make sure to take care of yourself and your family. Thank you so much for joining in. Take care and have a great week ahead.